Exodus. Chapter 19. In the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on that very day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. And when they had journeyed from Rephidim and had come to the wilderness of Sinai, they encamped in the wilderness, and there Israel encamped in front of the mountain. And Moses went up to God, and Jehovah called to him out of the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob and tell the children of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be my personal treasure from among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the children of Israel. So Moses came and called for the elders of the people and set before them all these words which Jehovah had commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that Jehovah has spoken we will do. And Moses brought back the words of the people to Jehovah. And Jehovah said to Moses, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you and may also believe you forever. Then Moses told the words of the people to Jehovah. And Jehovah said to Moses, Go to the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and have them wash their garments. And be ready for the 3rd day, for the 3rd day Jehovah will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. And you shall set limits for the people all around, saying, Be careful that you do not go up on the mountain or touch the border of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely be put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether beast or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain. And Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their garments. And he said to the people, Be ready for the 3rd day. Do not go near a woman. And on the 3rd day, when it was morning, there was thunder and lightning, and a thick cloud upon the mountain, and a very loud trumpet sound, and all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the base of the mountain. Now the whole of Mount Sinai smoked because Jehovah descended upon it in fire, and its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain shook greatly. And as the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke and God answered him in a voice. And Jehovah came down upon Mount Sinai at the top of the mountain, and Jehovah called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. Then Jehovah said to Moses, Go down, charge the people not to break through to Jehovah to look, lest many of them perish. And let the priests who come near to Jehovah also sanctify themselves, so that Jehovah does not break forth upon them. And Moses said to Jehovah, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, Set limits around the mountain, and sanctify it. And Jehovah said to him, Go, get down, then you shall come up again, you and Aaron with you, but do not let the priests and the people force a way through to come up to Jehovah, so that he does not break forth upon them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. Exodus. Chapter 20. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the slave house. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, nor the form of anything that is in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the water beneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them, and you shall not serve them, for I, Jehovah your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, to the 3rd and 4th generations of those who hate me. Yet showing loving kindness to thousands of generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Jehovah your God in vain, for Jehovah will not hold guiltless him who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day so as to sanctify it. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is a Sabbath to Jehovah your God. You shall not do any work, you nor your son nor your daughter, your male servant nor your female servant, nor your cattle nor the sojourner with you, who is within your gates. For in 6 days Jehovah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day, therefore Jehovah blessed the Sabbath day and sanctified it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be extended upon the land which Jehovah your God is giving you. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not testify with false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that belongs to your neighbor. And all the people saw the thunder and the flashes of lightning and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and when the people saw it, they trembled and stood at a distance. And they said to Moses, You speak with us, and we will listen, but do not let God speak with us, so we do not die. And Moses said to the people, Do not be afraid, for God has come in order to test you, and in order that the fear of him may be before you, so that you do not sin. And the people stood at a distance, and Moses drew near to the deep darkness where God was. And Jehovah said to Moses, Thus shall you say to the children of Israel, You yourselves have seen that I have spoken to you from heaven. You shall not make other gods besides me, gods of silver or gods of gold, you shall not make for yourselves. An altar of earth you shall make for me, and shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen, in every place where I cause my name to be remembered, I will come to you and bless you. And if you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stones, for if you lift up your tool upon it, you have polluted it. Neither shall you go up by steps to my altar, so that your nakedness may not be uncovered on it. Exodus Chapter 21. Now these are the ordinances which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, but in the 7th he shall go out free without payment to you. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself, if he is the husband of a wife, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. But if the servant plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him to God and shall bring him to the door or to the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sells his daughter as a female servant, she shall not go out as the male servants do. If she displeases her master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed, he has no right to sell her to a foreign people, because he has dealt with her unfaithfully. And if he designated her for his son, he shall deal with her according to the custom of daughters. If he take another woman for himself, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, or her marital rights. And if he does not do these 3 things for her, then shall she go out for nothing, without payment of silver. He who strikes a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. But if he did not lie in wait for him, but God allowed him to fall into his hand, then I will appoint you a place where he may flee to. And if a man acts presumptuously toward his neighbor, so as to slay him with guile, you shall take him even from my altar so that he may die. And he who strikes his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And he who kidnaps a man, whether he sells him or he is found in his possession, shall surely be put to death. And he who curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men contend and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist so that he does not die but remains in bed. If he can rise up and walk around outside on his staff, then he who struck him shall be guiltless, he shall only pay for the loss of his time, until he has made sure he is completely healed. And if a man strikes his male servant or his female servant with a rod, and the servant dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. But if he survives a day or 2, he shall not be punished, for he is his property. And if men struggle together, and they hit a pregnant woman, so that she has a miscarriage, but there is no further mishap, he shall surely be fined what the woman's husband shall impose upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if there is further mishap, then you shall give a life for a life. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, a foot for a foot. A burning for a burning, a wound for a wound, a stripe for a stripe. And if a man strikes the eye of his male servant or the eye of his female servant and destroys it, he shall let that one go free on account of that one's eye. And if he knocks out his male servant's tooth or his female servant's tooth, he shall let that one go free on account of that one's tooth. And if an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall surely be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be guiltless. But if the ox was accustomed to goring previously, and its owner had been warned, but he would not keep it in, and it killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall also be put to death. If a ransom is imposed on the owner, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is imposed upon him. If either it gores a son or it gores a daughter, according to this judgment it shall be done to him. If the ox gores a male servant or a female servant, 30 shekels of silver shall be given to their master, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man opens a pit or if a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make restitution, he shall give silver to its owner, and the dead animal shall be his. And if one man's ox injures another so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide its price, and they shall also divide the dead animal. Or if it is known that the ox was accustomed to goring previously and its owner would not keep it in, he shall surely give restitution, an ox for an ox, and the dead animal shall become his.